So what do you eat every day?
Lots and lots of meat, my friend. I am. I
So
don't
like, just take
think.
me through a normal day, roughly speaking. What does that look like?
Well, the last 3 days, I have had one gigantic bowl of ground beef and butter and salt for dinner, and that's it. I
Really?
I basically bounced between the two of the following for the last couple of years. It's either one meal a day of just a ton of beef and butter for dinner, and when you're eating that much protein and fat in a single meal, you're not hungry again until another 24 hours. So it's not even hard. It's not like I have to white knuckle through the whole day for that meal. It changes your timing. So back
Mm.
when I was eating a bunch of carbs and fiat food, right after and let me just say, there have been phases of this health journey for me. I gave you the example earlier of just eating breakfast cereal and total garbage for certain periods, but there were also periods where this was, I think, 2022, where I was following the fruit and honey and meat diet, the Paul Saladino animal based thing,
Yep.
and so my breakfast would be a big bowl of fruit, and I was like, okay, this seems like it fits in those parameters. That's perfect. But I would immediately be hungry again in a couple hours, and I would just be thinking about food all the time. I was still stuck in that food addiction of like always thinking about food and not really having the extra brain space to do other things. And a lot of people are figuring that out. When you just completely remove the carbs altogether and you're only eating the essentials of fat and protein, then you just never think about food anymore. It's just fuel. And a lot of that is you're removing this dopamine reaction to food because most people don't understand that food is a drug to them. And when you're eating sugar and these exploding flavors, and I'm sorry to say it to all the people who love their fruit and think that it's the most healthy thing ever and it's all natural and it's a different kind of sugar, so it's good for you. Do yourself a favor, look up any fruit and see what it looked like 500 years ago. Because none of these things that we see, whether at the grocery store or even the farmer's market, the most natural one you can grow, the seeds themselves have been extremely manipulated over several hundred years to be these exploding sugar bombs of flavor so they can sell more of these things that trigger people's dopamine receptors, get them to buy more. And if you go far enough back in history, we never used to have those things. That was survival food. People would have tubers and berries and roots and these things heavily fermented as a survival food if they failed their hunt and weren't able to eat meat. And
Mm.
this is a whole crazy discussion. I don't have time to go into all the different aspects of it, of why I believe that carnivore is the best. And even the fruit, honey, and meat version of this ancestral diet that's now the hottest trend on social media in the health world, I would say carnivore is even better. So just test it yourself, see what you find. And I have a ton of podcast episodes about that go through that. And I think that it's a really important one to at least try out for yourself and see how it works. Because, like I said, for me, it's got me feeling better than ever in every single aspect.
And the fun part is you tried it yourself. At one stage, you were doing a form of it, still including fruit, and then you've changed it. And that's the absolute key. Um, Coffee, yes or no? Alcohol, yes or no?
So I should say this: uh, those things are definitely not part of the carnivore diet. What I should mention is that I personally am not 100% perfect all the time. Everyone's different. The one hill that I will die on is that carnivore is what perfect is. That's the North Star. Every once in a while, I'll go off and I'll cheat a little bit here and there. And some people don't even like the concept of calling it cheating. And they say if you're not 100% perfect, you're not a real carnivore or whatever. I'm here
Whatever,
in
yeah.
Helsinki right now. I went to a party with a bunch of Swedes at a barbecue the other day, and there was a bunch of beer there. I had a couple beers. Like I'm not going to be 100% perfect every day all the time. I am going to be 100% honest with myself and say this is a trade-off I'm making. I'm going to have some poison because this is
Why not?
experience that I want to have.
Yeah. And it would
And
be.
just understand
Yeah,
that you're making a
absolutely.
trade-off of health for a certain experience. That's the way that I look at things. And I would say for me, a big decider on if I'm going to go off plan or not is, will this thing create an experience for me? You know, I think that's a pretty good measuring stick I've used for a while. Because what's an example? Getting a giant pizza and eating it in my room, that's not an experience. That's just you being a lazy slob and poisoning yourself for no good reason other than feel bad for yourself. But going to have some drinks with some friends in a foreign country with a bunch of crazy people everywhere, for me, sometimes that's worth it. Everyone has their own decision to make there.
And that's what I found difficult when I've tried carnivore myself. I've done it twice now. Is it's so restrictive that there were certain things that I couldn't do that I missed. And so I think it's about a balance, isn't it? And everyone's different.